south and can live by it, die by it.
Take them to the roof, blues and the bayou. Southern pride never die, stay alive and it's the proof. Represented, I'm from Memphis, Houston, and Baton Rouge. Miami, ATL, Mississippi, thought you knew. I got Georgia on my mind, Arkansas inside my veins. North and South Carolina, there I live in VA. Alabama in my heart, every time I'm on the stage. Rep Kentucky from the start, cause I'm just Southern made. This for Little Rock, used to push them little rocks on them Houston blocks, dodging cops while avoiding shots. Back to Richmond and Norfolk, while I poor folks made a miracle without much even holy or vast amounts of history. Can't count our misery, racism and lynchings. One rhythm poet.
It wasn't just the fact we were having children together. It was the fact that she was in a second childhood for years, and I had to deal with that as the man.
Right.
And when I say it was the worst, plus she knew the kids were taken care of because I was doing everything.
Right.
And it was more like she did exactly what my mama did with my daddy. Oh, you got it. My mama said my daddy told her he was trying to teach her how to do certain things. And she'd be like, nah, Richard, you going to be here to do it.
So it really wasn't something that she wanted to do.
No.
It was something that had to be done.
Yeah.
The child in you has got to come out.
Yeah.
That's the reason why it pisses me off for a child not to be able to be a child.
Yeah.
To do the thing that children do.
I was angry first couple of years. They bring them up, I get angry.
Oh, wow.
And then I didn't talk a whole lot. So even though I was intelligent, doing my schoolwork, hanging out with my friends, but when it came to family stuff, I didn't talk. When I did pictures, I didn't smile or didn't smile correctly. I said, I don't know how to smile. It was just a social awkwardness that I had for years. I understand people are embarrassed about some of the stuff. I'm embarrassed about some of the things I've done.
Mm-hmm.
But not to the point where I'm going to lie and say I never did it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that's who I was at that fraction of a moment at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I remember KJ and Kalea, but where did RJ come from? That's how I felt. Like I was hidden from the Hardy side. This is the excuse I used to use in the 90s. Well, you know, I know my mama don't want to go around. She don't want to go up there on Bethel Road because, you know, it just reminds her of my daddy and all this. So, and now I started to realize something. It's deeper than that. Because everybody has the right or should have the right to be able to tell their own story. But make sure that when you tell that story, that's what you stick to. Now, my son was able to get his answers. Because we stayed close.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to, last year, about the summer, I was able to give him a MP3 video of all the videos and stuff we had over the years with the family and stuff, and all these pictures of me and him and all different people and stuff like that. I was able to give him all of that and a couple audio recordings of his grandma talking greasy to me, talking about I'm this and I'm that, and his mama talk. I was able to give him that, and he said to me at 18, he said, I already knew some of this stuff was going on, but I was a kid and I couldn't do nothing about it.
Right.
He also said to me, he cried. I said, I love you, I love you. It was almost, every time we didn't see each other for a while, we picked right back up where we were. That's just the nature of our relationship. Same thing, he real close to Nene, like that's his mama. And, because mind you, when I met you, how old was Raphael? 4. So he's 18, 19 now. So he knows, she's the mama that he did, because his mama wasn't a good mama and all that. And so he's got his answers. We made a family video. We reintroduced ourselves, each one of us, all his 6 siblings. We reintroduced ourselves. I said how I met his mother, what happened, the reason I ain't around, when I met her. And I gave him a whole video of all of this. They all in the video. He's got his answers. But his grandma has programmed him so bad that he can't be around us.
Oh, shit.
So now it's like, well, I can't. Yeah, but
that don't take much either.
It don't. But she
all
had him that long.
All you gotta do is tell your child that your father is this and your father is that. But that's where we're at.
My mind is always one thing. The kids at home waiting.
Right.
I gotta get home every time, 100% of the time. Nobody's gonna stop that.
Right.
Gotta get home. Gotta get home.
Right.
Gotta get home.
Right.
I know what it's like when your daddy don't come home.
Black women feel like black men don't protect them, right?
Right.
But how can black men protect black women against black women?
There you go.
Something happened when he was in service, and they were in, I believe, San Diego.
Yeah.
I never knew what it was. I don't know. I don't know if that was when he got shot. I don't know what happened. No, I never knew the story. But I know something happened, and I think that's when he got out of service. I don't know.
And it probably kept on happening when he got home.
And like I
She could have
said,
met somebody serious.
I want to say he came home, caught her in the bed with
Right.
a man.
And this person, he went in there and a nigga was in the house.
Is this San Diego or is this Virginia?
Or was this in here? Millington.
Millington. What? San Diego, Virginia. What about that? I don't know nothing about that. That all I know is what happened here.
Regardless of the womanizer, Richard loved me, and he loved those kids, and and you guys. He saw nothing without y'all. I said, "You something? You got all the women, and your girl, you won't give up. You've been saying what 10 years or whatever." He just if he didn't have me, I said, you don't have to be ashamed that if you lose your wife, you still have your children. He would never think, no, Richard, you lose Peter? No, because I was his. So I used to tell me I need to get home. Oh, could you? I said, you don't understand. And I said, I was 10 minutes late, 15? We were sitting in the dark. He was sitting in the dark. And the gun, I guess we had this brown thing, brass looking that he got from overseas when he was in the Navy. And I sit down, it was dark. Sit down, because he told me to sit down or something, I don't know. And he shot in the dark and hit the thing. In the chair where I was sitting, over it. Shot.
How did I get myself into this position? Or was it had become so normal that it just was life?
Man, yeah, I don't know, kind of.
Because,
I guess because we had been together so long.
Right.
Starting out as youngsters and married and, kids.
Going through life.
And I love that. And I can just say, but he loves me. I know he loves me.
Why would you say, but I love him, and then turn around and say, well, he loves me?
That doesn't sound right, does it?
No, it doesn't. That if this is your soulmate, you will say, oh no, I really love him.
Right.
And he loved me.
Unequivocally.
But you stopped yourself from saying you loved him. That's very sketchy. Now, most people say, well, some people just talk and then they cut themselves off as they're talking. But throughout a lot of these conversations that we've been going through, this is you stopping yourself when you're about to say something that's kind of incriminating. Say something that does not correlate to what you told us before.
I told you about that time we were in Virginia Beach. Me and Irvine was James' wife. And so I'm in the car with them. They're in his car with him. Mind you, I'm riding with them. And I'm trying to say, well, I need to, get to the house. Get back to the house. We're going to meet back at their house. And, everybody, women go with their husband. We go, like that. So he was already, we had the time, but he was already sitting there. So the guys had gone, and he was sitting, and the girls, not that we were late, because in my mind, I know him. I said, oh, Lord, when are we going to leave here? I rode with them. That's what we got in the car. He was highly upset. Where y'all been? I said, I'm riding with them. I wasn't driving. I rode with them.
Right.
So I couldn't do, what you want me to tell them? Okay, y'all better get me home with my husband. I said, that night we got into it. I got in the house. I had, pretty too. Snatched my wig off my head, turn the stove on fire, put my wig on fire.
Mom, I'm gonna be honest with you. Some of it's kind of funny, some of it's awful.
I hit that joker. I hit him, baby.
That's crazy.
But I was trying to get on my heels, though, you know.
I'm gonna be honest, you brought the gun up at least 3 or 4 times in different situations.
I even got a situation where he shot in the air.
Yeah, you did say. You said he shot in the air. She said, I seen him shooting in the air. That you just confirmed it. See, that's what I'm talking about. There's no way she could know that.
No.
It's the thing. It was, Mom was running, but it's almost like you had some in your hand when you was running, though. But
that time, well.
He shot. He didn't shoot
shot when I was running.
At you. He shot like in the air.
A woman that's been abused by her mate for a while, or for however long you say, you wouldn't be putting your hands on that man because you'd be scared to put your hands on an abusive man. You'll be scared to put your hands on an abusive man, wouldn't you?
Logically and historically, that usually is the way it is. What is that noise? Sound like the kids. It's not the kids.
So, settle down, doggy. So, why did you say that time I was well? Come on now, fill it out. What were you running with? I seen you running with something, but that time I said either keys, something of his.
Right, which caused him to
chase her.
Right.
You're playing this game of chase, and then you're making it look like he's chasing you when you're actually taking something of his, and he's running after you trying to get it.
Right.
So for me to know that part of the story, and you to say, well, that time there's another stop.
Another stop. A bunch of stop signs, mama. A bunch of stop signs.
I digress.
She kept getting a vision, like she kept hitting herself, like making it look like he was hitting her or something, like a bruising herself, and then she'll walk around with sunglasses, but you wouldn't see bruises here. You wouldn't see bruises nowhere but here. She would hurt herself and then make it look like he did it.
And I'm telling you, as a person who lived through this with multiple women, every time I said a woman lied, cheated, or hit me, just about nobody believed me.
I was going through things, my breakup in my first marriage. He told me, you ain't got to put your hands on a woman. Just don't say nothing else to her. Leave her alone. And that was a lesson that he taught me. You know. And I never saw signs of him being abusive to Quita.
Never?
No, never. I never saw bruises or anything on her.
Not one time.
I used to spend a lot of time with them. Now, they were fussing arguing.
Right.
See, that's a form of abuse, but
right.
You know what I'm saying? That's
is a form
abusive.
If I'm talking to multiple people, I can at the very least compare stories and find out the truth in the middle somewhere. Right. Because you saying that you fear for your life a lot, but you the only one never got shot. He couldn't shoot. Right. To say that a woman wasn't raped or she wasn't beaten, I don't like to do that. I'm not that guy. But if you make sure when you tell that story, because that ruins a lot of people's lives when you say that they did this. Because that lady that got Emmett Till killed, she waited until she was almost on her deathbed to say, I lied about it. Right. Now imagine how many other people done died and you done lied and been sent to prison and all that. Yeah. So it's very dangerous. So while my mama was watching me go through these things with women, you ain't gonna say nothing? You ain't gonna say nothing? Your son, I almost died a couple times. Like, you not gonna say nothing? And here it is, I'm just green, don't know nothing, and I'm just being a gentleman like the women in my family taught me.
Now I understand why it makes more sense for her to talk about him holding. Basically, she made it seem like his gun was his everything.
And it wouldn't, I don't believe.
But the way they made it seem like when I was younger, your dad was just wild, boy. That's why he ain't here. He lived fast because he knew he wasn't going to live long. That's the way they used to talk.
Really?
Yeah, my family. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to make sure I live slow. Y'all don't know, peace costs a price you can't pay.
Mm-hmm.
Until you know real peace, you don't know real peace.
Richard, first of all, would not have taken his own life and leave me behind. And I'm not bragging, I'm telling you what I know. I know him. We're together forever. No, he sympathy shot. Like first time he did that. But this
So
time,
what about, so I've never got a clear understanding, obviously, on the first. What happened in the first instance, and what year was that?
the first, y'all were little.
So I was born.
You were at, you don't ever remember when we used to go to B's house? And all y'all playing? We go, Janice in Horton Garden. Sundays was, your daddy got his car clean, his calendar, we had 4 kids then. We used to go there when we didn't have any kids, and show off, go around that high school days, even after we got married. But that was the thing. You go up there, just Casper Creek.
Yeah.
So, me, I had cooked. It was Sunday. I had cooked. And I said, here, Richard, we home. And a little while, so time going. I was like, all I did was go over B. But we just, let's go over Janice.
Right.
B's house here. Janice just, you were born, you were little, you weren't in school.
Walking.
But Janice had 4 kids. My 4, B's 2. We sitting there laughing, talking. So then we moved to the girls. We moved to the table, y'all running and playing in the house and children and everything. Janice had company come in. This is Laquita Hardy. He said, oh, Laquita Hardy? I said, yeah. And he was looking at me. I'm like, yeah. And he just kind of, I said, why is he doing that? Can't remember his first name, but he just looking at me. It was on a Sunday. I got the kids. Our house was clean. Dinner's done. You didn't eat. We ate. I went to visit my friend.
Right.
I said, that's Richard. Jess, how you know this? I said, I know my husband's truck, his motorcycle. I know all of that. I guess he went to B's. And how he knew to come to Janice.
Right.
He knocked and opened. The door with a screen, the screen door.
Right, yeah.
So basically he
kind of
walked in. And she started, I'm walking in my house, this. Yeah, because he knew who he was.
Yeah.
So he don't know what he's told me.
Right. I get what you're saying.
He said, let's go. And speak to nobody and speak to B nothing. Got to call you guys and we left. So we went to the house. And I said, what is wrong with you? I said, you were rude. You didn't even knock on the door. I said, what's wrong? I said, we waited for you for dinner. All of that. And I said, what's wrong? Literally, I'm asking, what's wrong with you? And I said, weren't you scared of what he told me about? Because I know you know him. Richard couldn't drink liquor, for one. I don't think he drink beer. Because he's like the Indians, the hot, what do they call that? Salt fire water. Yeah. He didn't mess with alcohol too much. Now, God, was he trying to talk to you? And this wasn't my house. He wasn't here when I got here, me and the kids. I don't know him. Richard took out his gun. I said, what are you doing? And I pushed his hand. I said, what are you doing? So I never forget it, because we had mirror dressed, solid wood furniture we got from Virginia Beach. The mirror was on the headboard. on the dresser, the Chester drawer, mirrors. Blue veins in gold. He shot the glass out the one mirror at the top of the the bed, the dresser, the dress up there, and somewhere else, like twice, they bullet holes and broke the glass.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, what are you doing? You know, Richard, don't put that gun of them kids in there. I said, what are you doing? He did just like this and shot himself.
His hand was on the trigger?
Yeah, he shot himself. That was the first time. He gets in the van. We had the van.
Yeah, the van. Black van.
And leaves. I call Chuck because he's right down the street.
Uh-huh.
So I call Bill. You know, that's big brother. He said, call Chuck. I said, I'm going to call Chuck. I said, this stupid gun. I told him Richard never to use it. He doesn't need a gun.
Now you see how detailed she was about that mirror?
Mm-hmm.
That means that mirror is some level of importance to her.
Yeah.
She can see it today.
Yeah. And I mean, describe it down.
I can see the damn thing. The way she described it.
The way she described it, I mean, she's giving you a
good visual, right?
It's found like you can, you know how back in the day.
I mean, so it's so graphic till I see it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, and we sitting there like this. Okay, yeah.
Chuck came to the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you get that gun and you give it to Bill.
Right.
You give that gun to Bill. Where'd he go? I don't know where he went. I don't know. He had drove himself to the med. Hey man, I was like, where'd you be? He didn't tell me till like, I don't know when later. That
Where was that at?
in the gut, in here, on the side, like
in that
not
area.
too far, in that area. Bill, of course, gives him his gun back.
Now here's Uncle Chuck's story about what Daddy told him about the first time.
He ended up shot, but he just was glazed on the side.
It was never an entry.
No, it just
The bullet just
kind of like
grazed the skin.
Yeah.
The police took that.
They took it. You didn't get it?
I couldn't get. I wasn't around now. I wasn't over there.
Was he trying to shoot himself?
That's what she said. Now, there's, as far as me talking to him, I don't want to talk about it. So when Richard would tell me he didn't want to talk about something,
you let it go.
I didn't bother him about it. I didn't want to fight with him.
Right.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
I didn't even touch.
Nobody called the police?
Gone, once again. I don't know if it was in the floor this time. Second time, yes. And I took it, picked it up.
Wait a minute. Are you describing the second time?
No, this is the first time.
Oh, okay.
No, I did call the police.
So that's why the police showed up and took the gun because he didn't have a permit for it.
It was the same gun. It was the same gun he shot. I know, like I was his wife. I remember when he bought the gun.
He asked Daddy after that, like, what happened? What happened to lead up to it? And he said he didn't want to talk about it. You are the present adult in the house during both situations.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is that he's telling. Yeah, that's what he's.
So it grazed and hit. It went where?
I don't know, but I told him that.
Oh my Lord! It traveled. It hit. I seen the spot. Let me see.
That's the sign.
It traveled. I'm sorry, man.
I'm sorry, no.
Is he saying?
His energy and your energy is clashing real bad, and I'm feeling sick.
Oh, open the door. You might be hot too.
I can't.
It's okay, baby.
Do you kind of remember what happened that night?
Yeah, that was the night me and Tasha was sitting up watching videos. They was in the back arguing. That's the first experience. That's how I knew the second time the gun. All four of us were there. You were still in diapers. I don't even think you were walking yet.
Mm.
I don't remember any images. I just remember him coming up there and talking. Like nothing had happened.
He didn't come back to tell us he was a piece of crap. I don't believe that. I don't believe he came back to tell us he was really a bad dude and he shouldn't be looked up to. Like Terry said, everybody was just shocked.
Well, did she shock and know about the first time that it happened? Did I shoot him then? Well, did she know about that?
She said she didn't know nothing about it the first time.
His mom, he didn't know what was going on. I didn't go to them. I went to Chuck. Chuck was down the street. I was telling you when he did it the first time. Chuck, Bill knew it.
Chuck said that ain't what happened.
Well, what did he do? Get another gun?
Nah.
The police got that gun the second time, man, not the first. And nobody ever killed my husband. Because if somebody would have done something to my husband, I'd have tried to kill them.
They call it a sympathy shot. Where they person shoot themselves so you can get back with them or you whatever.
She said, they said that, and we first and foremost, we was trying to figure out who was they.
Because you didn't talk to no doctors because you didn't go to the hospital. If he drove himself to the hospital, you didn't go.
Yeah.
So it's that type of stuff where you go, I don't know about it.
Thinking like, okay.
Why I never heard about the shooting?
The first one.
I didn't know about the first one.
Have you ever been shot?
Man, you can't take being shot.
How does the first time go from a shot inside the body to a graze?
To a what?
A graze.
What graze? I don't know about no graze.
Mama.
He shot himself the same way. It ain't no graze. Okay. Who told you it was a graze?
Uncle Chuck.
How did he a graze? And too bad you weren't around to see that scar. That wasn't a graze. A graze? That man took that gun out, shot the mirrors in the head. Rich even remember them holes in that mirror, and then took his hand and turned it like towards the side. I said, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" He took down stronger than me, and he shot himself in the side.
Then, if that's the case, I'm quite sure back in 1988 they still had to report all gunshot wounds or gunshot victims at the med to the police.
Well, I called the police because, of course, they did.
If that's the case, then the police would have known more than likely during their investigation that he had already done this before. Without you even telling them, they would have known that.
You give me gonorrhea twice. Told him it was almost
gonorrhea twice?
Yes, twice. And guess what he did with the gun? Because I told him, and he said, we got to go to a clinic. Now, me.
When I had gonorrhea, why you didn't tell me about that story?
Because I didn't want you to know about your father.
But see, that's why I end up going through it, because you don't tell. If you're taking me to the clinic, I'm obviously going through the same cycle that he's going through, right?
Oh, my God. But you know what?
You don't.
My mother. So I didn't tell you here that it wasn't going to be different because you're a man. You eventually going to have sex. Well, you already knew about this disease out there. I don't know who you slept with.
Mama, you're not listening. What I'm saying is, if somebody's in front of you in the first generation, right, and they have knowledge of these things, and they don't tell you, and these things start happening.
Tell you that you can catch gonorrhea by having sex?
Yes.
You're 18, son.
Man.
When you start talking,
y'all don't see that's what I'm saying. No. Like y'all don't believe in the y'all don't believe in it. Y'all, Mama, you didn't tell me that. That would have been a valuable lesson at that time that applied to the current situation I was in.
But it's so much, baby.
But that's the. We have time to go to church, didn't we? And before I go any further, I want to be very clear. I appreciate you not wavering in your ability to discuss this with us. Mm-hmm. I understand this is a very touchy subject. So I noticed the people that are closer to my mama, like obviously like our brother, Uncle Mel, mm-hmm. who was very close to Daddy too.
Right.
They stop themselves when they talk about my daddy.
Your mother no more
than
the things that she told.
That's the point.
And then the point is, he obviously he trying to expose her to you tell the truth.
She said, Mel and Mama should be here already. They were behind me. They had went stopped somewhere. And so when she got to the house there, she got Mel saying, "You been fine. You get here to the house now you sick." I had to help her get out of the car, carry her bag, and lean on me, and I helped her get in the house. She was so sick. Like she was just fine a little while ago.
Oh my Lord Jesus.
And it shall be revealed. I'm not saying that families have to tell you every waking detail of their lives. We don't tell our kids every waking detail of our life. But we're very transparent with our children so they know who we were and who we are. If this was anybody else's family and you were on the outside looking in, you would be able to see the flaws, the issues, and the problems.
That's right. No one's perfect.
But that's the cop out though. To say no one's perfect.
Not. It's the truth, baby.
It's a cop out. I'm gonna tell you why it's a cop out. But listen,
everybody is supposed to be perfection at its best. The real world, when they get old enough to get out from under you guys, they're going to see and experience some things that aren't perfection, because man is flawed. And it's good that you have become the person you are. I ain't say, wow, when I told you things and you're like, Mom, you kind of been through a lot there, huh? Yes. Yeah. And still lifting up a man on the pedestal so the children can see the good. Okay, he was human and he was wrong. He was not killed. Did nobody shoot in my house and shoot my husband? Because he was my husband. I can't change anything that has happened in the past. And I've been told that. Queen, you talk in the past. You can't change the past. No matter what, you cry, you pray, this Richard ain't coming back. How many times have I heard that? And why would I even want it back? Because I love him.
You know what? They ought to be glad I found out this stuff this late. Because if I'd have found this out 15, 20 years ago.
Oh, you would have been outraged. And
I wouldn't have been as poised as I am now. I wouldn't have been as mature. I would have reverted back to yelling at Mama like I did when I hey, my name on the check and you ain't bought me nothing. She said I'm using that money to pay the bills. That's my money. My daddy left that money. That's how I was talking. And Bo had to step in. And then I said, she did this and her and that. She said, she, her, I'm your mother. Don't refer to me like that.
After the funeral.
Oh, after.
We never came over. It was a long time before we saw y'all.
You for real?
I'm for real.
I didn't know that part.
And so I want to say Richard had said something. She was like, the Cree brothers gave y'all some money. I said, yeah, because my mother paid for the funeral. They gave her a donation.
All right.
For the funeral. I said she paid for the funeral. Hold up.
Like, wait. But then your mama say she...
No, Mama didn't say that. She said she still owe Preston to this day.
For the funeral.
That's what she said. This is the story is, when I turned 5, which was in March of 88, I was due to go to start kindergarten that fall. Daddy dies in May. She said, me and your daddy was talking about, because I know you remember this, McDonald's used to sell these Danishes back in the day. Mm-hmm. And me and Mama used to go get them when I wasn't in school yet. And she said, me and your daddy was talking about how when you get in school, we was planning on what we were going to do because we ain't never had all y'all in school before. So you was due to start school that fall. And we didn't know what we was going to do. Mama, that was a lie. Y'all weren't even together. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm going by her story and the paper. Right. When I was younger, that's the story she used to say. When you're that's okay. Now we know that's a lie. Yeah, at the funeral, Richard's funeral, Frida was over there carrying on, doing all that crying and stuff like that. And I looked over at her and she stopped.
My job had raised money and gave me money, and they they shouldn't do that. They give it to you at the funeral. I have no idea what happened to the money to this day. It was hundreds of dollars.
She probably don't care based on the abuse.
That's what I said. If that's the case, then I can understand if you killed him because he was abusing you. But if that's not the case, how am I supposed to know the character or the personality or about my father's life on my own? It's not my job to educate myself about my father. Y'all the one knew him. Now, if you want to say, hey, it was a little uncomfortable to tell you your daddy was this or that. Okay, I understand that at a certain age. But I've been grown for quite a while now. So when you
didn't ask for it because you didn't need to know.
How am I supposed to know?
You didn't supposed. What were you supposed to know? I didn't lie. I just didn't tell you.
Well, yeah, no.
He was your father.
When a parent is deceased and they can no longer talk for themselves and they tell their own story.
You don't have to know all the bad stuff.
So you think that we should only tell our children the good things about us?
Your children did not come from that era of Richard and Laquita. Me as a mother wanting to protect.
That's not protecting.
Because your mother is still not whole.
When you hide stuff or decide that you're not going to expose information to the people that matter to you the most, and they find out later, you should be understanding that they will be upset or they will feel away. I came from a loving family. Well, finding out that they aren't who I thought they were, and they got more skeletons than a graveyard, it's kind of a wake-up call for me, because I'm like, wait a minute, I'm really who I say I am. Y'all ain't like that. We telling everybody we these good family, oh, you come from that good family, don't you? And come to find out, I'm really living it, but they just talking.
Oh, okay.
For the longest, they have insinuated that you are just the worst of the worst. Right?
Right.
I'm thinking to myself, they're so pure and so clean, and as time went on, no.
You found the truth.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm trying not to scare you.
No, you can't. Trust me, you can't.
Oh, okay. I like the way you talking. I'm here with you. Like Martin said, we here.
Yeah. Why you get it from the Jones side? Because son, the Jones have lived a life since I've been with you all, and this is why stuff happens. I did everything to fall out my chair when you said, why am I getting it from the Jones side? Because that has been the most demonized side connected to you. You say you're so far removed, they want to know why. And the only reason why they want to know why, because they want to hold you to your past. And the reason why they dislike me is because I wasn't held for what they wanted to hold me to.
Right.
How do you criticize anybody when within the family, you know, you got secrets?
Right.
Within the family, you kept lies, kept truths from everybody. In the family, you're marrying family.
Right.
Okay? In the family, you're allowing inside fornication that you're covering up.
Right.
Are you tracking with me?
I'm riding with you.
But then you turn the look to people on the outside to keep everybody else from looking on the inside.
If a guy is controlling and abusive, and he has a gun, but he's the only one shot in 2 different occasions, she's been free of daddy at least for 36 years. Why are you still wishing he was here right now? But then my sister Tanya, she would get upset, and I'm like, "Why are you getting upset?" She was like, "Because all the bad stuff that she say about daddy, I don't know why she's still bringing him up and stuff." And not to blast my mama, because if it was
obsessed with him,
that's exactly what my wife said. She said, "I'm seeing that your mother was obsessed with your father." So when you say in the paper, I told him I ain't want to be together no more.
And y'all sitting and listening to your mama. Raised this man up on a pedestal.
She told me that's why he was dead, because
God.
She
was looking at him as he was a God,
and God took him. And guess what? That's the story I ran with for 20-some years. Like I told Risha, I don't give a damn who it is. It's about right and wrong with us.
So you coming back with vengeance?
Yeah, and if it's gonna help, if it's gonna help my wife sleep better, and it's gonna help our family move forward as a whole, I'm willing to do it.
Way before I ever thought about a mic. Or at 18, learn how to songwrite. I wasn't never the racing, but I ain't had a drive. Then basketball would replace it and live inside my mind. Both dreams that I never gave a fighting chance. So many things in between them like my confidence. But I'm glad where I landed in the music field. Didn't ask, but the feeling do fulfill. Previous to my introduction of education, I was in love with vehicles and the thought of racing. Fit like a glove, cause father was in this situation. On me and rub, speeding is freedom in this nation. I wasn't forced, I just seen my daddy working late in the garage on his muscle car and other things. Good mechanic, and on TV see the people race. Or at motorsports park, it was everything. But when he passed, so did the love for that profession. Constantly sad and quiet, and I became aggressive. When they spoke of my dad, ain't wanna hear a lecture, cause he was gone so fast and Richard feeling petty. The same barracuda that he used to drive me in, collecting rust and rotting away and dying, man. But see your muscle car, think of what could have been. We can't restart, that's the hardest part of living, man. Way before I ever thought about a mic. Or at 18, learn how to songwrite. I wasn't never the racing, but I ain't had a drive. Then basketball would replace it and live inside my mind. Both dreams that I never gave a fighting chance. So many things in between them like my confidence. But I'm glad where I landed in the music field. Didn't ask, but the feeling do fulfill. Dream deferred, so I moved to phase 2. Racing died in my heart and in my mental. This new guy that my mama dated kinda cool, but his vibe sorta different and he younger too. From the shy, so he was all about the bulls. Navy guy, smooth but tougher than some wool. I sit beside him learning basketball in full. My biggest high, away from games it would pull. And put me in the mode where ball was really life. Playing cards, playoff stickers, anything I like. T-shirts, video games, and now my handle's nice. Wanted that as a career, but never even signed up to play a single game on an organized team. Had the skill, but I was shamed with no confidence in me. By the time the music came, was already 18. I would never feel the same, cause the music was meant to be.
Hola, senor.
Hey, buenos dias, amigo.
What's going on with you?
Oh, man, just trying to live life the best I can. What about you?
Doing exactly the same.
All you can ever do is one day at a time.
One day at a time, I swear. I still greatly appreciate everything that you've done, tried to do, despite the way things may have turned out in the end.
Right.
A lot of the stuff that you were giving me back then when I was a child and leading into adulthood, I've given some of those same things and shared some of those same things with people along the way as well. I'm always filled with gratitude and just gratefulness about everybody who sold into my life, whether it was something very small or something large.
Right. 88, and I never put the dates together. So, ooh, man, I stepped into some crap. You gotta realize your mom and I met in September of 90 at the bowling alley. And we didn't separate since then. We were together up until the divorce.
What year was it?
90 to 97 is 7 years, because the first 7 years we lived together.
Right.
We got married in 98, 2006, 2007.
The only thing she's apologized since we've been grown and whatever, yeah, I shouldn't have moved him in there. So that's it. I'm thinking it got to be more than that. Oh, it's way worse than that.
Oh, that's more than that, but she'll never, again, you said she'll never confess that.
Right.
But if I put you on the phone with Granny and Aunt Sharon, they'll tell you now.
Oh, I believe him. I believe him. They ain't got nothing to lose. I believe him. If I knew I could get all this info from her directly, I would have just asked her and nobody else.
That was one of the things that we thought about, and it wasn't so much of me moving in, it was how it was done and how she introduced me. The first few months, I wasn't working yet because I had just got out of the military. It was her that told me I could stay because I was going back to Chicago. We all drank.
Yep, I remember the drinking days.
We all partied.
I definitely remember
the parties at?
Yeah, at our house at Ridgedale for sure.
Ridgedale. That was our life. Things did not turn bad. One day, Tasha and Tanya was doing something, and they cussing each other out. Now, I'm in the house.
Right. I remember they used to get into it all the time.
Flipping each other the bird. And I told Quita, she said, not my kids. Came home, she disciplined them.
Right.
She said, from now on, if y'all do anything out of order when I'm not here, Bo is going to tell. I hear out the bedroom is Tasha saying, you better stop because you know Bo going to tell. He tell everything. From a child. Nothing was the same ever since. See, they won't tell that story. And I'm disciplining them and telling them, sit down, be quiet, don't do this. You ain't my daddy, you can't tell me what to do. And she allowed it. Did things happen that I regret that I did out of anger and yes.
Of course.
Stuff I wish I could take back.
Right.
But that whole setup was flawed from the beginning, was oblivious, and didn't find out until 2 years later that your husband killed himself in the house and y'all didn't have no counseling.
You never knew anything about that story for 2 years while y'all were dating.
For 2 years.
And by that time, you had already been living with us and everything.
I'm living with y'all by now. So we going through years of, like she does now, still bringing up Richard.
Yeah.
We're being in gatherings. She talking about Richard. And I couldn't even tell you how many countless times she called me Richard.
And I never called him Richard. He has called me other women's name. I have never called him Richard. I sure haven't. I make no mistake and call him no Richard. Never. I hope you're not telling the devil about our lifestyle, about our family. He left our family.
Right.
Mama made him open to. You let him know he is welcome here. I don't have anything against him.
I don't think you know that's the reason why we're not together to this day. I could never get out from under that shadow. And no matter who in the family told her she can't keep doing that, it was because of you all never went to counseling. She never went to counseling.
Right.
I didn't find that out until the first 2 years after we were together. He was talking about the mindset you were at 19.
Right.
So imagine me being in a place unfamiliar with almost being 26 with a 19-year-old mindset taking on a woman and 4 kids.
For the longest, all you do is compare me to this man. That's all you talk about is your ex-husband.
Really?
And I think Bo eventually just got
tired of it.
Even when she was with Bo, I remember her saying this.
I was still telling Parks even before I married him. I said, "Now, you know, my kids know. I pass. You know, I'm to be buried with Richard."
Like,
but you married again.
I've never heard a woman say these type of things. I called because I'm basically like, listen, I need you to tell me who my mama is or was then to see if I can compare that to now or what have you. And what I'm really getting from everybody I talk to who adores my mom and love her and respect her, she's the same person now she was then. She was just younger.
Oh, your mama deposited into y'all daughter. I'm amazed at the Joneses. And I told my mama, after everything went down, I said, nothing's going to happen right in that family until they uncover all the lies. I said, Queen, I'm going to tell you something. You know what would hurt me more than anything? For us to never make it. Because at those times, I never thought we wouldn't make it.
Right.
I thought we was going to be together forever, honestly. We don't make it, and I see one of your kids later in life say, how's your mama doing? And they say that, and they tell me that you had a nervous breakdown because of them, because you never corrected them, because you never corrected everything else, and you held on to the past. I told her that.
Well, men raised mainly by women, you're going to naturally be emotional. You're going to be a little more this, a little more soft, a little more steady. And so what happened is, I remember my stepdaddy, Bo, you remember Bo, but I remember Bo had thought that because Teddy was gay.
Who is Teddy?
She was
yeah.
May he rest in peace, but she thought he thought because Teddy was gay, he thought I was going because I had all these girl cousins, girl sisters, you know, all these. I had all this, so he thought it. So what he would do is he would overload me into watching macho stuff like Sylvester Stallone movies and Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, and he would teach me martial arts and and like he would get me into boxing. He the reason I got into basketball. He made sure I had a lot of macho. Got me into wrestling because he was like, nah, I don't want it. And every time he tried to make me a man, my mom would say, nah, don't do that. He don't know how to cut the grass. Come on in, boy. So do you think that you were a great wife?
Yeah.
I'm asking you objectively.
Yeah.
You really do?
Yes.
So you think you was a better wife in the first marriage or the second?
I was all right in the second. I mean, I was a good one. I was a good wife. With Richard, I was a better, greater wife. Because he told me, why did I go back to you know who? And I said, Daddy, I've been praying about that. I said, God did not tell me. He said, ooh, Dad, I ain't gonna get in the middle of you and God now. Quita would have went back. He should have been kissing my
But what you saying
and feet and toes and everything.
Listen, what you saying in two different situations with the only two men you ever married. You're saying divine intervention is what got you away from them.
I met him 2 years after Richard, and I should have never talked to him. Parkinson.
Why you say that?
Because I was not over your father.
Oh, okay, I get what you're saying.
I appreciate that, and I told you, you will always be a son to me. I'm always here.
Have a good day, and thank you. I love you.
All right, love you too.
All right, bye-bye. Stepdaddy with the word for the day.
Travel down this road before, in another world my soul, free forever with the glow, cause the drama ain't explode. Did my dirt on dollar soul, pay on earth before I go, but more gentlemen I show, so my dead already gone, in my father's funeral, ignorant to what go on, but that feeling on me strong, like daddy ain't coming home, and without him I must grow, but that pain would stunt my growth, and my family was so. Had to patch up that big hole. Find myself as an adult was the most difficult. With no tools I learned real slow. Though genius in my mental. And I took some real big blows. Like a boxer but ain't foe. I'm the son of who was bold. More like him the more I go. Live my life just how I want. Kinda reckless, yeah I know. But with life you never know. I might not see tomorrow. So say love you to my folks. My 3 sisters cause we so tight as hats with a logo. No longer incognito. All the good and bad you see. Dysfunction and chemistry is the reason I am me. It's a portrait of a king. Many may remember me as much different than I seem. And it's Richard honestly. It's a portrait of a king. Snap a pic for memories. Keep a portrait of a king. Shoot some footage annually. It's a portrait of a king. On my daddy's son you see. Second portrait of a king. And I'm grateful as it's seen. It's a portrait of a king. Used to really hate the fact. Only boy out of the pack. Youngest one to be exact. How I was in the act. I was me when I think back. Just more quiet and intact. Plus ain't know that I was black. Till racism showed me that. With some whites I'm gonna clash. But my biggest fight was black. Like the bullies in my class. Check my clothes and ain't show slack. At that point I wanted that. But a step is all I had. Almost decent but the fact wasn't richer, so I'm sad. Late bloomer out the sack. I was so naive to that. Cost me pain, it cost me stacks. Now my child felt like I crashed. Kept on coming in contact with these ladies that were bad. But my biggest impact was my kids, now I'm a dad. Much more detail, I'm compact. And the truth I won't subtract. All of me I do unwrap. After this, it's a wrap. No attention for attacks. I see life and see my dad. In that mirror we attach. Better capture this artifact. All the good and bad you see. Dysfunction and chemistry is the reason I am me. It's a portrait of a king. Many may remember me as much different than I seem, and it's Richard honestly. It's a portrait of a king. Snap a pic for memories. Keep a portrait of a king. Shoot some footage annually. It's a portrait of a king on my daddy's son.